The small ones, yes, the hills. The little ones, what they can understand. And so the hills live by faith because the mountains receive peace. By these mountains, it has been said to the church, these mountains have not separated themselves against the one from whom they have received peace, so they may announce peace truly and not hypocritically. There are those who receive peace to announce to the people that they have contemplated, they have thought upon wisdom, insofar it is possible for a human to understand, to attain what the eye has not seen, what the ear has not heard, what has not entered into the heart of man. Again, the apostle, he writes in 1 Corinthians. But if wisdom has not entered into the heart of man, how did it enter into the heart of John? Was not John a man? Perhaps it did not enter into the heart of John, but the heart of John, it ascended. Yes, it ascended to the truth. For that which ascends into the heart of man is below man, but that to which the heart of man ascends, that is above man. So, brothers, it can be said that if wisdom ascended into the heart of John, it did so insofar as John was not a man. But you say, what does this mean? He was not a man. Because he was an angel. He was an angel. He was a messenger. Yes. All the saints are angels in so much that the angels are messengers of God. And we as saints, as believers in Jesus Christ, we are here upon this earth the messengers of God. What, in fact, does the apostle say to a carnal and natural man who cannot understand the things of God? When you say, I am Paul, I am Apollo, are you not men? Again, Paul in 1 Corinthians says this. What does he wish to make them? Whom he blames for being men. Listen. Listen to what the psalmist writes. I have said, you are gods and sons of the Most High, all of you. To this, therefore, brothers, God calls us that we no longer be men. But when we shall not be men in a better way, if we do not first recognize ourselves as men, that is, we do not rise to the heavenly state in humility, lest in thinking ourselves to be something, we are nothing. Not only shall we not receive what we are not, but we shall lose what we are. Therefore, brothers, John, he was also among those mountains. He who said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This mountain had received peace, so that the divinity of the Word was contemplated. It was thought, it was considered. What was this mountain like? How high? It surpasses all earthly summits. It surpasses all the spaces of the air. It surpasses the highest stars. It surpasses all the choirs, all the legions of angels. If it had not surpassed everything created, it would not have come to the one who through everything has been made. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And all things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was made. It surpasses all of these things. You cannot realize what He surpasses unless you see where He arrived. Perhaps you question heaven and earth. Perhaps you question all of these things. You say, but heaven, it has been made. Earth, it has been made. You question regarding all that is in heaven. It is evident with a greater reason that they have been made. And you question heavenly creatures, angels, archangels, thrones, the dominations, virtues, principalities. All of these have been made. They have been created. For after enumerating all of these, the psalm again spoke. He spoke. He spoke. He spoke and they were made. He commanded and they were created. And since He who said they were made, it was through the mediation of the Word that they were made. But if they were made through the Word, the heart of John could not arrive at what he said, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, and the Word was God, unless he transcended all of those things which were made through the Word. Jesus was not made. He was not a created being. He has always been. He shall always be. And so was this mountain, so high, so holy. It was among the mountains that received peace for the people of God, so that the hills, ourselves, could receive justice. See then, my brothers, whether John was not among those mountains of which we spoke. I have lifted up mine eyes to the mountains from whence my help comes to me. Therefore, if you wish to understand, lift up your eyes to the mountains. That is, hearken unto the evangelist John. Hearken to his meaning. But because these mountains have received peace, and he who places his hope in man cannot be in peace, do not lift your eyes toward the mountain so that you will think you are placing your hope in a man. No. Say, I have lifted my eyes toward the mountain whence help comes to me. But you must also add, my help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. And so let us lift up our eyes toward the mountains whence help will come to us. But we must not place our hope in the mountain. For the mountains receive what they transmit to us. And so we must place our hope in the one from whom the mountains receive the truth, in Jesus Christ. When we raise our eyes toward the Scriptures, because through men the Scriptures were transmitted to us, we raise our eyes toward the mountain whence help will come to us. But because those who wrote the Scriptures were men, they were not enlightened by their own light. But he who was the true light, who enlightens every man coming into the world, he was also a mountain. John the Baptist, who said, I am not the Christ, lest someone placing his hope in a mountain, and I believe John the Baptist, he was a mountain, yes, should abandon the one who illumines the mountains. He himself confessed, since from his fullness we all have received. You then ought to say, I have lifted my eyes toward the mountains whence help will come to me, but without attributing to the mountains the help, but adding, my help comes from the Lord who has made heaven and earth. And so we lift our eyes to the mountains, because from them the truth will come to us. But brothers, this I must warn you, so that when you have raised your heart to the Scriptures, when the gospel announces, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the rest which has been read, you will know that you have raised your eyes to the mountains. For unless the mountains made these things understood, you would not have the least awareness of them. Help has then come from the mountain, so that you can first hear them. But you were not capable of understanding what you have heard. Implore help from the Lord. Ask for Him to show you the truth. The Spirit will guide us into all truth. And so let us implore help from the Lord who made heaven and earth, because if the mountains could speak, they would not enlighten by their own light, since they themselves have been enlightened by the light of His Word. Hence the one who said these words received them, that John, he received from God. And he tells the truth of God to us. Brothers, John who reclined on the bosom of the Lord, John who drank from the Lord's bosom what he had to give to us to drink. But he gave us these words, and you must seek to understand from that source which he himself has drunk, he himself has imbibed it. You must raise your eyes to the mountains from whence help comes. It will come to you so that you may receive the cup. That is the effusion, the pouring out of the word. And yet, because help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth, you must fill your heart from the source from which John also his heart filled. Yes. From the Lord who made heaven and earth. Whoever can fill his heart, he must do so. Brothers, I have said, let each one raise his heart as far as he can, so that he will understand what he has said.